All right, next up, we've got Iowa State and Cincinnati, little Big 12 action here. Cincinnati, 5.5.5 home favorites, 47.5 the total in this game. We're seeing the money come in here on Iowa State or Cincinnati, even though Iowa State coming off a big win against TCU, albeit that was at home on Saturday, 27-14. Very impressed with the defense. I mean, they've made Chandler Morris look bad to the point where, Josh Hoover comes in and for TCU, and just a terrific defensive effort, though. Now, the offense is still kind of a work in progress. Rocco Becht's okay, not great. But when they can run the football, and we've seen them commit to it, they're capable of having success. Can they do that, though, here against the Cincinnati defense? Cincinnati's only given up 100 rushing yards per game, 3.3 yards per carry. And I think that's what could be the problem here for Iowa State. If they're relegated to throwing the ball with Becht through the air, can they win? Can they hang in there against Cincinnati on the road? That was a nice win for Iowa State, but let's also not forget that on the road this year, how about 50-20 beat down at the hands of Oklahoma and 10-7 loss against Ohio? And that offense just did not work against Ohio in particular in that road game. And I don't know if it's going to work any better here against Cincinnati. Cincinnati's taken their lumps. They've lost 3 in a row straight up in ATS. The BYU loss was kind of disappointing, what we saw from their defenses. They kind of got picked apart, but I think it's kind of a buy low spot on Cincinnati and kind of a sell high spot on Iowa State. And the betting markets, I just haven't seen any offense from Iowa State consistently on the road. Enough to trust them here, taking on a Cincinnati team that I think's got this game circled, wanting to bounce back. I'm not sure I'll lay it with the Bearcats, but I'm leaning in that direction, and I would lean maybe to the under as well. It wouldn't surprise me if this is, I'm seeing it now. It's another game where we could see some weather issues here in Cincinnati for this matchup here. Strong under, I'm seeing, courtesy of better weather. Chance of rain showers and 16-mile-per-hour winds. So, and I was leaning under as far as the matchup goes as it is. And now with the weather thrown into the mix, definitely could be a lower scoring game. What do you think, C-Mac?
That's what I look to in this game. I think both defenses are good. And Iowa State, the defense came up big. TCU, I think 3 or 4 interceptions. They looked awful last week. And Becht played pretty well, enough for him to get the win. And then they got, their ass whipped to Oklahoma. And then the game before that, Oklahoma State, that went over. So their games have had some points, a little bit strange with them the last 3 weeks. But with the rain, everything, I think this stays under. Cincinnati with Emory Jones, they want to run it. One thing, they run it well. They get 220, it's 10th in the country. So I think you keep doing that. One problem is Emory Jones, don't make any mistakes, because that's why I can't lay the points here. Not that I'm rushing to the dog here with Iowa State, but I definitely like the under here.
All right, liking the under here. And keep in mind Cincinnati the last couple of weeks, right? They have the Oklahoma game, tough opponent, and we saw how good Oklahoma was against Texas. And then, of course, they have to play BYU on a Friday night, short week to Provo, Utah, last Friday. And so those are tough spots. They really are tough spots for Cincinnati. Now they're back home after a couple. It feels like this is a great situational spot here for Cincinnati.
Are they off the bye here?
They are not. No, but they played Friday at BYU last week. And again, that was a pretty tough spot for them travel-wise after the Oklahoma game, which was a game where they exerted a lot of energy into it. So I think it's a nice little situational spot for Cincinnati here. The question is, do they get the job done laying 5.5?